What is the concept of your garden?
Well, it's simply a sunken contemporary garden, and it's got a gravel sort of surface as well. So within that we've used self-seeding plants, plants that colonise, just to give the effect that the garden's going to change, albeit within quite a rigid structure of stonework.
Is there an idea behind the garden as well, or a theme?
Not really. I designed the garden, really I wanted to create this sunken space, but then once I put the sculptures, these lovely columns in there, I suddenly realised that it reminded me of a holiday I had in Libya, and we went to the Roman ruins in Benghazi, Ptolemais, and it was, I think the idea must have sat in my subconscious for a while and then eventually emerged into a sort of a garden space. But obviously there's a lot more plants in here. At Ptolemais there aren't many there's only trees and shrubs. So we've made it, sort of prettied it up, if you like, with all these self-seeding plants.
So the plant choice is based on the soil. Is it sort of drier soil?
Well, in my brief I've put a medium loam, free draining. So I mean, a lot of them would survive a bit of drought, but if it was real drought conditions, then they might not look so lush as this. For instance, the acanthus you might want, wouldn't be quite so lush. But a lot of them would survive in a reasonably dry space.
Where did you find the colours, and why yellow wool?
Most people don't like yellow in this country for some reason, but I always find it a very energising colour, a very lively colour, joyous colour, and so I decided to use parsnips. I have an allotment where I grow vegetables, and the Dianthus cruentus, which is the strong red that you see in there, that's a lovely play. It really works well with that yellow. But because there are lots of other yellows like the Bupleurum and the Phlomis, I decided that the wall should be a real nice yellow ochre, so that it helps with the harmony of the whole space.
You have very interesting stonework in the garden. What stone is it and how is it laid?
It's Cotswold stone, which is very traditional in this country, and we had a fantastic stonemason called David Wilson, who's a sculptor as well, and he worked tirelessly and very enthusiastically on this garden from start to finish. We built some of the walls ahead of time because it takes a long time to do this sort of thing. He built the buttresses either side of the yellow wall on site, and it was it was a lovely experience watching him. He's a very, very, very clever man.
But it's a dry
stone.
Yeah, it's a dry stone wall, yeah.
Yeah, dry stone wall, and I mean, at a show garden you always have to cheat a little bit, and there are little bits of cement here and there just to hold keystones in place. But by and large, it's a dry stone wall. Yes.
In real life, how much work would it require? How much time this dry stone work would require?
It would probably, all the stonework you see here, it probably would take a good 3 weeks maybe to do all that, I would have thought, yeah. So it's quite a painstaking way of working, but it's beautiful as well.
You've used quite a lot of water in your garden. Is it all integrated, coming from the wall and then continuing?
There's a pump that keeps the water circulating. One thing that we didn't do was to have anywhere for it to go down here, and I'm really kicking myself. I didn't have a little weir for the water to disappear in, because what happens with the stepping stones going across the water, you get water sort of running through it, which would have been nice, but I didn't quite get around to doing it, which is a shame.